It's time for dinner.
Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong.
From the creative mind of Scott Bertelson, after 4 decades of teaching our impressionable youth,
The dinner bell.
you are invited to enjoy conversational morsels for the mind at Mr. B's dinner party.
Yeah, dinner.
Who can it be now? Who can it be now? Well, take a guess. That's right, it's Mr. B.
Mr. B's got a table so wide. Pull up a chair, let your worries slide. School days, tales, and a movie or two. He's serving up wisdom with a side of stew. Belly up to the table, my friend. The feast of thought will never end. From travels far to a spiritual climb. Morsels of musing served in rhyme.
Oh my goodness, my happy podcast friends. I hope that you have a hearty appetite because I have a plethora, yay, of tidbits that I'd like to share with you today. And I'm so glad that you're taking time out of your schedule to listen to me and hear what I've got to say. And I respect and I love you all. So let's get started, my friends.
Let's have a seat round the proverbial table
Would you like to say grace?
with a nod to our higher power and Mr. B's spiritual journey.
My happy spiritual friends, you might remember that we are on our journey through the 12 steps and 12 traditions of this disease. And I've been sharing I've been sharing with you, okay, some readings about the steps. And we've talked about step 1 already. And now we are on step 2. And this is part 2 of step 2. So I am going to continue. When we were around other people, we smiled and agreed when we really wanted to say no. Some of us were unable to stand up for ourselves in abusive relationships. We felt we deserved the abuse, or we focused on other faults and thought for hours about what they should do to solve their problems while our own problems went unsolved. Compulsive overeaters are often people of extremes. May I say that would be me. We overreacted to slight provocations while ignoring the real issues in our lives. We were obsessively busy, then we were wiped out and unable to act. We were wildly excited, then deeply depressed. We saw the whole world in black and white. If we couldn't have it all, we didn't want any. If we couldn't be the best, we didn't want to play the game. Little by little, we saw how much pain our way of life was causing us. Gradually, we came to believe we needed to change. In all of life, as well as with the food, we were irrational, unbalanced, insane. If our willpower and determination couldn't change our unsuccessful way of living, what could? Clearly, a power greater than ourselves had to be found if we were to be restored to sanity. At this point, most of us had trouble for one reason or another with step 2. Some of us did not believe in God. We despaired of finding a solution to our problems if that meant we had to, quote, find God, unquote. Some of us walked out of our first meeting when we heard that 3-letter word mentioned and didn't return until years more of compulsive eating had made us desperate. Those of us who stuck around made a wonderful discovery. This program does not tell us we have to believe in God. Only a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. We were invited to define that power however we wished and relate to it whatever way worked for us. We only have to remain open to spiritual growth and tolerance for others by neither criticizing nor promoting specific religious doctrines. Ours is a spiritual program, not a religious one. We have no creeds or doctrines, only our own experiences of recovery. Atheists and agnostics are welcome and have found recovery. How have we, who were not believers in God, come to believe in a higher power? It usually started as we sat at a meeting and experienced the camaraderie of our fellow compulsive overeaters. Here were people who understood us and cared about us. We could be totally honest about ourselves, and they still accepted us unconditionally. This acceptance grew into love, carrying with it a message and power that seemed to stay with us. It was not too great a leap to believe that this shared love was a power greater than ourselves that could lead us to sanity. Before long, we usually asked other people to be our sponsors. Most of us chose someone with whom we felt a kinship or in whom we saw recovery. As we developed personal relationships with our sponsors, the love of the OA group came to us in a deeper way. They answered our questions, listened to our problems, shared our tears and laughter, and guided us in recovery as we helped us apply these principles in our lives. For the first time ever, we felt the relief of not having to face our problems alone. This relationship was a higher power in which we could believe. However, we are human. Sometimes when our group or sponsor fails us in some way, we feel cut off from the support which had come to mean so much to us, and our new sanity seems threatened. We now needed a more reliable way of relating to a higher power. At this point, we learned we could act as if. This doesn't mean that we were to be dishonestly pious or pretend we believed in God when we didn't. It meant we were free to set aside theological arguments and examine the idea of spiritual power in light of our own desperate need for help with our lives. Some of us began by asking ourselves, what do I need from a higher power? What would I like such a power to be and to do in my life? Once we identified this power for ourselves, we found we felt at ease with it. Then we began to act as if such a power existed, and we found good things happening to us as a result. Little by little, as we experienced changes for the better in our lives, we came to believe in a power greater than ourselves, which could restore us to sanity. Many of us had asked God to help us control our weight, and this prayer hadn't worked. Later, we understood why our pleas for help seemed to fall on deaf ears. What we were really asking God to do was remove our fat while allowing us to go on eating whenever we wanted. Most of us also needed to learn to ask other people for help and let God speak to us through our fellow friends. For all of us, atheists, agnostics, and religious ones alike, coming to believe was something that happened as we began taking actions which others told us had worked for them. Whether or not we believed these actions would work for us didn't seem to matter. Once we took the action and saw it work, we began to believe. Then we tried other suggestions, and our lives began to be transformed. This willingness to act on faith, then, was the key to step 2. It was the beginning of a healing process that would relieve us of the compulsion to overeat and bring stability to our unbalanced lives. We had begun to develop a new relationship with a power greater than ourselves, and we were ready to move ahead with our program of recovery. So my happy spiritual friends, as next time we'll start with step 3, keep in mind for step 2, we came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. It was said very well in the words that I shared with you. But my higher power, as I've shared with you many times, is God. And you can choose whomever or whatever you want as your higher power, but you have to believe that a higher power can relieve you of this disease, this insanity, this terrible illness. But it's on a daily basis. Every day you have to turn it over. You have to give it to a higher power. And that higher power will relieve you of your compulsive eating desires. It's true, my friends. It works, my friends. I'm a living testament to that. Not that it's always easy every day, but it is worth it to be free of the compulsion to overeat, as I was addicted to this for so many years, and the impact that it had on my life. Thanks to my higher power on a daily basis, I no longer have to feel gluttonous anymore. Instead, I feel joy.
Come along with Mr. B. Every road and river, every shining sea. Travel high, travel low, there's so much to see. Come along with Mr. B.
Okay, my happy friends, Mr. B has been on a journey again. I always try to report to you, whether you ask for it or not, about my travels. And I do like to leave Iowa occasionally. Do I like coming back? Oh, absolutely. But this winter has really been hard for Mr. B. And I decided that I needed to go to a warmer climate. So I got on a cruise ship. I did. Oh my goodness, was it fun. Now, Mr. B has surely cruised before. This time, I cruised by myself. Now, I would rather go with a friend or maybe a relative, maybe. But this time it just didn't work because I booked this at a last moment and I couldn't find anybody to go with me. But I'm okay with myself. And I knew there were other people on the ship, and I needed some tranquility in the sense of some alone time. So I left on January 28th. I went to Minneapolis, and I stayed overnight, left my car there, got up early the next morning, had to be to the shuttle from the motel to take me to the airport, Minneapolis airport, at 3:30 in the morning. That's right. And flew from Minneapolis to Nashville. Had a layover of a couple hours, not too bad. And then flew from Nashville into Houston. And then once I got to Houston, I booked all of this through the Princess Cruise Lines, was picked up by an Uber and taken to Galveston, which was about an hour's drive. And there I stayed overnight at Galveston, and the next morning got on a bus at 9 o'clock with all these other happy cruise people, and away we went to get on the cruise ship. And I was on the Regal Princess. I've done many cruises through Princess Cruises. I'm very, very impressed with that cruise line. I feel very satisfied with what they have in terms of service on the ship. And, of course, the food. And yes, I did eat abstinently. Oh, yes, I did. I did. You can do that. There are lots of choices for abstinent eating. So anyway, got on the ship Sunday, the 1st, February 1st, and then on Monday, we were at sea all day, and I did a lot of walking, went to some shows. They have a beautiful theater there, and throughout the cruise, I saw 3 gals who did country western music, saluting country western female stars. They were very good. I saw 2 production shows. One was called Bravo, which is a great ensemble cast show where they sing all these famous Broadway songs. Very elegant. And then I saw a show called Dancing, where they recreated some dance scenes from 14 different musicals. And that was really, really breathtaking. Also saw a magician perform some tricks, which was very interesting. I'm not a huge fan of magicians, but I enjoyed the show. And then also saw a young man who, I can't think of his name right now, old age, who did country western music, and he was very, very good. And so they also had a comedian on stage, in a lounge, and he was very funny. And then they had music throughout the ship. They had various bars and drinking establishments on the ship. And I heard some jazz groups. I heard some blues groups. Heard some piano playing. Really great. Really, really great. So found that enjoyable. So highly enjoyable. But anyway, I digress. Are you shocked? Anyway, so we were on water on Monday. Tuesday, we arrived to Cozumel. And Cozumel is a largely undeveloped Mexican island in the Caribbean Sea. And it's very well known for cruise ships. A lot of scuba diving going on there. Did I scuba dive? Oh, no. Oh, no. I did not. But when I was in Cozumel, I describe it as a perfect day because I could wear shorts and a T-shirt, much different from the below zero temperatures that we experienced in January. And went on a tour and went to the capital city and heard all of the vendors barking at you from their shops. They sit outside their shops and they try to have you come in. They'll try to entice you, so to speak, to come in to buy their wares. And that's a little nauseating after a while. But that's how they make their living. And also saw a lady covered with birds. You might remember the pigeon lady from Home Alone 2. That's what she reminded me of. And she had pigeons all on her, everywhere on her body as she fed them. And it was quite unique, quite unique. And then we got back on the bus and we went to a spot where they had Mayan statues of Mayan gods. And that was really interesting. And then we got back on the bus and then we went to a private beach. Oh, yes. And Mr. B dipped his toes into the ocean. I didn't go swimming, but I did feel the warmth of the ocean water. And it was crystal clear. The beaches were white, beautiful. And it was I just soaked in the sun. Oh, and so then I got back on the cruise ship. And then the next day we went to Belize, Belize. Now you might be asking, where is Belize? Well, it's a country on the eastern coast of Central America with Caribbean sea shorelines to the east and jungle to the west. And there's a huge Belize barrier reef offshore, which I didn't do any kind of scuba diving. I just can't do that. It's not within my makeup. But they do have Mayan ruins, and I did get to go to one of the sites of the Mayan ruins. And They speak English there, and it is absolutely gorgeous. And I went on another tour, and we went down a river. We were in a boat of maybe 20, 25 people, and to look at all of the wildlife on the river. And I saw lots and lots of iguanas. Oh, yes, those scaly, gross, disgusting creatures. But maybe I should have better feeling about an iguana. I'm not sure. Anyway, so saw iguanas, saw crocodiles, saw alligators, and it was just gorgeous. The weather was gorgeous. Again, T-shirts and shorts, very comfortable. And then we stopped for lunch, and we had a native meal of chicken and rice, which is a staple for them. They tried to convince us we were eating iguana, but it really, it really was chicken. Anyway, so then we got on a bus, and we went to the Mayan ruins. And our tour guide was amazing and told us about the excavation to get this site available for people. And then talked about the history of the Mayan people. And this would be my second visit. I've been to a Mayan site that was close to Cancun when I went there a couple years ago. This one was smaller than the one by Cancun, but it was still very, very exciting. And here we had the opportunity to climb to the top of a Mayan temple. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And Mr. B did that. I got my happy little legs on that ladder, and up I went. And it was such a great view from the top. And coming down was interesting, but I did get down without killing myself. So that was our day in Belize. And then the next day, we went to Rotan, which is an island off the country of Honduras. We didn't actually go to Honduras. And in Rotan, you guessed it, I went on another tour. And this tour, we were in a bus, and we saw the countryside, which had, unfortunately, a lot of poverty, a lot of garbage, a lot of very underdeveloped homes, and unfortunately, sometimes very unattractive. And then we went to see some dancers dancing to the native music, and we listened to a guy talk about the agriculture in Rotan. And then they took us to a mini mall where there was a chocolate factory there, and you could go in and buy chocolate, or you could buy a coffee, or whatever that would be. And then after we got off the bus, then there, before you could get back onto the cruise ship, there was a beautiful beach there, which once again had beautifully white waters and white sand. And it's a great place to sit and think and meditate and soak up the sun. Yes. And so that's what I did. And then after we were done with Rotan, we were on water for 2 days. And then I came back and arrived in Minneapolis on February 8th, I believe, about 8:30 p.m. at night, and called the motel where my car was being kept, and they came to the airport and picked me up. Didn't have to wait very long at all, and drove back that night and landed back in Forest City, Iowa. So that was my winter excursion. All the flights were great, no delays, everything worked out beautifully, and I'm so glad that I went. Now, these are spots I'll probably never go to again, but it was so enjoyable to enjoy the warmth of these countries and to see a different culture and to talk to all of these knowledgeable tour guides and find out about their imports and exports and the type of food they have that they enjoy and their school systems and what the weather patterns are like. Really very culturally invigorating. So there you have it. That's just the highlights of my princess cruise to the Caribbean. And I look forward to more.
Travel high, travel low. There's so much to see. Come along, come along, come along, come along. Mr. B, every road and river, every shining sea. Travel high, travel low. There's so much to see. Come along, come along, come along, come along, come along, come along with Mr. B. Let's go.
For the next course, come one, come all. Nothing spoiled here. From comfort classics to what's hot now. Film reviews from Mr. B's Rewatchables.
Now, you know, my happy friends, I couldn't go on a cruise without watching a number of movies. I did the reading, of course, but I also had the pleasure of having a number of different films that I could choose from to watch. And I thought, as I've done before, I would talk about some of my cruise classic movies. Cruise classics. What do you think of that? The first one that I saw is, at this moment of recording, is in theaters here in America, is Dracula, the latest rendition of Dracula, also known as Dracula, A Love Tale. And, of course, we've had many, many film versions of Dracula. This is based on the novel Dracula by Bram Stoker. And it was released first in France and then had a wide release here in the month of February. It received mixed critical reviews and some positive reviews too. Of course, I'm not going to go into great detail about it. It was not my favorite Dracula film. My favorite Dracula film is the 1994 Bram Stoker's Dracula, directed by Francis Ford Coppola, starring Gary Oldman as Dracula. That one I really, really like. And, of course, there's been many others. The original Bela Lugosi. There's been Christopher Lee, who portrayed Dracula in films for Hammer Films in England, and other movies, too. This followed the story of Dracula, who loses his love and then finds her reincarnated, so to speak. And so then he tries to pursue the reincarnation of his love. This one, it had some twists with the story that I didn't necessarily enjoy. Instead of having brides of Dracula in the castle, there were gargoyles who worked for Dracula, and they were poorly computer animated, and so I didn't really care for that. Also, this story tried to make it more of a love story between Dracula and his love that he wants to have. And I just didn't buy it. I just didn't really care for it. Was it beautiful to look at? Yes. Costumes were wonderful. The scenery was wonderful. But I didn't get the reasoning behind some of the things that were happening in the film. So I don't think I really would recommend it unless you're a diehard Dracula fan. And if you are, once again, I recommend the Gary Oldman film instead. Then I watched, for something completely different, the film Ever After with Drew Barrymore. This is prior to her Drew Barrymore show days, when she was a much younger actress, and she played a Cinderella-type person in this story. And I've seen Ever After before, a couple times, but I really suggest that you do see it if you have not, because it does follow the Cinderella story of how she is treated very poorly by her stepmother, portrayed by Angelica Houston, and how she comes into meeting the prince and then leaving the slipper at the ball. You don't have a fairy godmother in this film. That's different that way. You don't have a magical carriage that takes her to the ball or anything like that. But she does ultimately end up with the prince, and it's just a really, really feel-good film. And it makes you believe in love, and it makes you believe in magic, and it makes you believe that fairy tales can come true. Another one that I saw, and this is the last one I'm going to mention because the others I have probably already talked about before, was The Conjuring, Last Rites. This is the fourth Conjuring film, and I have seen the other three. Now, The Conjuring Last Rites is the latest and supposedly the last film in the Conjuring series, based on the real-life investigations of Ed and Lorraine Warren, who would go into people's homes and exorcise a home of demons, ghosts, and that's what was covered in the first three films. And this film got mixed reviews, and it surely wasn't a favorite of mine of the Conjuring films. But this has become the highest grossing film in the series. So anyway, they're thinking about making a prequel. So anyway, so the plot is in 1964. Ed and Lorraine are investigating a haunting involving an antique mirror at a curio shop. Lorraine collapses upon seeing a vision of an entity and her unborn child and goes into labor. Ed takes Lorraine to the hospital, but the baby is stillborn. However, Lorraine's prayers revive the baby, whom she names Judy. Well, to make a long story even longer, 22 years later, they are living in Pennsylvania, and this family is living in Pennsylvania, and one of the daughters is given an antique mirror. And then during dinner that night, a kitchen ceiling light suddenly crashes down, and we also learn that Ed Warren, heart condition is getting worse, so they are told that he probably should not be doing any more of this supernatural work. Anyway, to make a long story even longer, as I just said, the Ed and Lorraine go into a home where this mirror seems to possess, or a demon inhabits the mirror and is making the life of the family there very, very difficult. But as in all happy Conjuring stories, They do exorcise the demon, and the family lives in the house for 3 more years without further hauntings. And the remains of the mirror are kept within the Warrens' occult museum. And then their daughter, Judy, gets married. And then the team of Vera and Ed retire from that type of work. Now, did it have some scary parts? Yes. Was there some jumps? Yes. But it was awfully slow at the beginning. The whole first part of the film was incredibly slow. And it takes until about halfway through before you have any interest in the story whatsoever. And so it didn't really, as they say, grab me as I normally have to be grabbed by a film somewhere near the first 10 or 15 minutes, or otherwise I'm not going to stay with it. But I did stay with this one because I thought maybe there would be a great payoff. And the ending was interesting. But I think The Conjuring first movie was probably my favorite. So anyway, saw The Conjuring Last Rites. So those are 3 of the films that I saw on the ship. And really enjoyed all of them. And I will add that I did again watch 500 Days of Summer, which is always a tradition for me on a cruise ship. And that is that love story that came out a number of years ago about this Summer is a girl, and this guy falls in love with her, and he talks about the 500 days that they shared together before they broke up. And it is, again, really one of my favorite films. And maybe sometime I'll go into more detail about it. We'll just have to see. So there are my cruise classics.
Belly up to the table indeed. There's a reason Iowa is a national leader in high-quality farm-to-table beef. Nothing matches the superior marbling and taste of fresh family farm-raised Iowa beef. Buy direct from Sunnyside Farms and cut out the big beef cartel. Know your farmer and have the confidence you are feeding your family the high-quality protein they deserve. High-quality protein like our own Iowa beef is now at the top of the USDA food pyramid. And unlike grocery store beef, you can trace your beef to one farm and one steer. We focus on the health and welfare of our herd and practice environmental stewardship that helps restore the land and improve the quality of our beef. Experience big savings with one initial upfront fee that covers the entire process. Beef packages are sold in quarters, halves, or even a whole steer. A quarter steer averages around 200 pounds of beef, but you only pay for the final cut weight of your ordered portion. No water or feed weight. We've partnered with quality from the USDA-inspected Conger Meat Market. Every beef package includes steaks, roasts, ground beef, even ribs and soup bones. Beef halves include a brisket, and for an additional nominal fee, you can have patties made, summer sausage, and delicious beef sticks for snacks anytime. No fillers or added chemicals, just straight from our farm to a quality custom processor to your freezer. Right in time for grilling season. Use the Text the Show link in this episode's show notes with your name and contact info to place your order today. Our supply is limited, so act now. You'll be glad you did. And thank you for making Sunnyside Farms beef a healthy part of your life. Now, back to the show.
My friends, just when you thought it was safe to go to the movies of 2026, I didn't forget that I said that I would do a sequel to my first list of movies for the best of 2025. So here we have the sequel. Part 2. All right, I'm going to mention about 5 or 6 films. Now, there's way more I could mention, but that's what I'm going to do. Some of these I've seen, some I haven't. Some of this is based on what the critics have said and or just how I feel because I have that prerogative. Okay, the first one is Die, My Love, which stars Jennifer Lawrence as a new mother battling postpartum depression and psychosis. Now, there's a happy subject. in one of her most challenging roles. This was filmed while she was actually pregnant with her second child, and it is a very compelling film that I really want to see when it comes to streaming, and what it's like to go through an extreme example of postpartum depression. So there's one I would highly recommend. Here's another one called Train Dreams, which you can find on Netflix, which I have seen. And it is a wonderful story about the Earth's resources, the beauty of nature, and what it's like to lead a simple life. I really recommend Train Dreams. And let's see, I would also suggest, okay, I'm going to say it, K-pop Demon Hunters. Highly, highly, highly popular film with young people. It's on Netflix. It was also theatrically released. But it has a wonderful soundtrack and a really fun plot. Where these members of a K-pop girl group face their biggest threat, which is a demon boy band that feeds off people's shame. I'm not making this up. No, this is true. It's one of the best animated movies I've ever seen, and I really recommend that you see it for something light and fun that you might just want to take the time to see. Then I'm probably going to say that Wicked for Good, I've talked to you about how I feel about both of them. I surely didn't like Wicked Part 2 for Good as much as I liked the first one. But it had some great songs. It had some great scenery. And again, Ariana Grande, Cynthia Erivo, brilliant. So think about that. Zootopia 2. Yes, I did see that. It's very funny. It was a huge, 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 huge moneymaker. I think maybe one of the greatest moneymakers of all time for animated films. It broke box office records. It continues the story of Wildy and police officer Judy Hopps as they work to bring reptiles back to Zootopia. It's really funny, and you should see it. Oh, yes, you should. And then probably the last one I'm going to mention for the best of 2025 would be, drum roll please. Drum roll please. The Wedding Banquet. Yes. The Wedding Banquet is a heartfelt, meaningful film, and it has great actors in it, and it centers on a two-couple friend group. And when one needs to get married to appease his grandmother, who does not know yet that he's gay, he has to marry somebody else instead of his true love, who isn't quite ready for commitment. And then what happens, of course, is that you have an infectious, what I would call romp, through what the ideas of a modern family should look like. And Bowen Yang is in it, and he used to be on Saturday Night Live for many years. He just left this season, and he is also in Wicked, and he is very, very good in this. So let it not be said that I don't follow up. So that's some of the films that you should be thinking about to watch on streaming or to rent or to see on a cable station. So happy viewing, my friends.
Hello, friends and neighbors. Welcome to the Sunny Side of Life Bible in a Year experience. Join me each day as I read the Bible from start to finish. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. These are the instructions for the guilt offering. If you fully obey the Lord your God and carefully keep all his commands that I am giving you today, the Lord your God will set you high above all the nations of the world. Do you really think these men are coming here to honor your father? No. Fire flashed down from heaven and burned up the burnt offerings and sacrifices. Listen to me. You who have understanding, everyone knows that God doesn't sin. Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. He tore his clothes and put on burlap and went into the temple of the Lord. This is what the sovereign Lord says to Israel. How long, O Lord, must I call for help? The Word was with God, and the Word was God. But by Jesus Christ himself and by God the Father, who raised Jesus from the dead, he who is the faithful witness to all these things says, yes, I am coming soon. Amen. Come, Lord Jesus. May the grace of the Lord Jesus be with God's holy people. Its own podcast, January 1st through December 31st. Every year, the Sunny Side of Life Bible in a Year experience. For free from Sunnyside Farm Studios. I pray this daily reading will bless you as much as it does me. So let's get started.
Speaking of sequels, you might recall that I was giving you some of my favorites of one of the greatest performers of all time, Elton John. But I was doing it alphabetically. Isn't that ingenious? Mm-hmm. So I'm going to now share with you my third installment of my favorite Elton John songs. And I'm now on the I's, okay? All right. So I don't want to go on with You Like That. I love that song from the album Red Strikes Back, 1988. I don't want to go on with You Like That. I won't sing anymore. Okay. Let's see. What would be another good I one? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. If the River Could Bend from The Big Picture, 1997. That's a good one. They're all good. Oh, Island Girl, Rock of the Westies album, 1975. Island Girl. Oh, love that. Love that. I'm just giving these recommendations so you will go to Spotify and find these albums. And if you're not familiar with Elton John as an artist, you should be. You need to be. Because he is amazing, and you need to experience that. All right, let's go to the J's. Let's see. The only one that I would probably mention for that would be Just Like Noah's Ark. That comes from The Captain and the Kid, 2026. I like that song. Let's go to the K's through the L's. Yes, we have Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. Came out in 1974. That's a rendition. The cover of the Beatles song. Really, really enjoy that one. Little Genie from the album 21 at 33 in 1980. I recommend that one. Let's go to M through N's. How about the song, The Man Who Never Died, which is on the second side, the B side of Nikita in 1985. Really like that song. Very much. I like all his songs. I never tire of his songs. All right, let's go to O through P. How about the song Philadelphia Freedom, 1975. Oh, what a great tribute to talking about our country. Pinball Wizard from the Tommy soundtrack, 1975. That's really good too. You should listen to it. Let's see. And then finally, I'm just going to wrap up with the rest of the alphabet. Rocket Man from Honky Chateau, 1972. One of the first songs I ever listened to for Elton John. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Sad Song, Say So Much from Breaking Hearts, 1984. Love that song. Probably my favorite, Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting, comes from Goodbye Yellow Brick Road in 1973. Oh my gosh, a classic. Many times I'll be driving down the road, and if I'm in an Elton John mode or mood, or whichever word you want to choose, I will go to that one. Oh my gosh. Oh, let's see. Oh, yes. Oh, Someone Saved My Life Tonight from Captain Fantastic and the Brown Dirt Cowboy, 1975. Oh, then from The Big Picture, Something About the Way You Look Tonight. I really love that song too. Sorry Seems to Be the Hardest Word comes from the album Blue Moves in 1976. Really like that song too. He's got quite a few S songs that are really, really good. So, let's say we go to the T's. And let's see what we find here. Okay. Tiny Dancer, Mad Men Across the Water, 1971. That's a great classic song. Go with that one. You can't go wrong with that one. And finally, let's look at the rest of the alphabet. And we will probably have to say the song Whipping Boy from Too Late for Zero, 1983. That's a great album. All his albums are great. You can't go wrong with Elton John, ever. Your Song, one of his first songs in 1970. That's a great one. So, I guess I've said that a lot for his songs because they're all great. Every single one. He's brilliant. He's wonderful. He still is recording. He doesn't tour anymore, but we'll always have him on vinyl. We'll always have him on Spotify that we can listen to. And there'll be nobody like Reggie. So, Elton John, thank you. Thank you for the years of enjoyment you have brought to my life through your beautiful, beautiful, beautiful songs. Friends, that wraps it up for Mr. B today. Oh, it was a great, enjoyable time with you. I want to thank you. And I want to ask you to come back to the table. Because if you enjoyed the meal today, you just never know what will be on the menu for next time. So, we'll see you next time for Mr. B's dinner party. Arrivederci.
Television dramas and comedic reviews, pet peeves buzzing like honeydew blues, poetry sprinkled like salt on a dish, every word served with a twist and a swish. Belly up to the table, my friend. The feast of thought will never end, from travels far to a spiritual climb. Morsels of musing served in rhyme.
Mr. B's Dinner Party is hosted by Scott Bertelson, edited and produced by Troy Thompson, recorded and distributed at Sunnyside Farm Studios, and platformed by Buzzsprout.
Conversations flowing like fine red wine, world journeys mapped with tales divine. He's hosting a dinner for your hungry mind, a banquet of life where you can unwind. Belly up to the table, my friend. The feast of thought will never end, from travels far to a spiritual climb. Morsels of musings served in rhyme.
Subscribe so you never miss an episode, and share with your friends. Listen and enjoy every other Wednesday conversational morsels for the mind on Mr. B's Dinner Party.
Zip it tight.